retirement. I know that new retirees are often bombarded with jokes meant to poke fun at their age. It's true that as we approach the twilight of our lives, as we approach the twilight of our lives, we become easy targets for these types of base and degrading humor. But I'm not going to retread any of that material tonight. There will be no mention of wrinkles, liver spots, hair loss, gradual loss of memory. I'm excluding discussion of the AARP, Medicare, Social Security, and all the other senior service-related organizations. I won't mention joint pain, dementia, bulging discs, tooth rot, cataracts, hypertension, weak strain. I know that probably hits close to home for or the steady and rapid decline of libido. And I've dutifully crossed out all references to Cialis and Viagra. Tonight I want to focus on something a little different. I want to start with some numbers. In America, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average person with children spends just under 9 hours a day at their job. It's a lot of time. And they spend about 1.3 hours of their day with their kids. If we extrapolate that data, that means that my dad, over the past 30 years, spent a whopping 37% of his time with you folks, and about 5% of the time with us. Going somewhere with this. That may seem shocking, but it's not all that unusual. In fact, it's quite an accepted and natural division of time for the modern man. It's a condition of modernity for a contemporary dad who, had he lived in the Paleolithic age, would have spent most of his time honing his hunting skills instead of mastering the complexities of Excel spreadsheets. Been working on the timing all day. And so lo and behold, my dad never taught us how to track and kill woolly mammoths and... Oh, hold on.
Did I move
That's
you?
okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just twist it back. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's getting the weak string.
My dad never taught us how to track and kill woolly mammoths or forage for seasonal fruits and vegetables. But his career at Grumman did provide him with other bits of wisdom that he was always willing to share with me over the years. So I thought that in turn tonight, I would share some of those with you, and I wonder if you'll find any of them familiar. I remember that early on in life, my dad tried to teach me about the importance of saving and being frugal. And I can honestly say, for the most part, I practiced that same sensible approach to money that he taught me when I was really young. Now, I will say that as a 6-year-old asking for an extra $1 a week for my allowance, Dad's insistence that I submit an RFBA Now, thinking about it all these years later, it's kind of hard to knock him for it, especially in the context of the AOP that I just submitted to him to prove. In that context, it made total sense, right? My dad has always been all about process and doing it the right way the first time, and as a kid, it was a big thing. As a kid, it was a push broom, not a pull broom. And so when I go out to one of my chores was like sweeping the sidewalk, and we had a push broom. And if I ever, it's a push broom, not a push broom. I know that now. So prioritizing things that were most important so they could be attacked systematically was really important to him. And so when I was about the same age, little kid, I had asked him to fix a broken Hulk Hogan figurine that I had, well, the wrestler, right? And I was challenged by the JNR he asked me to fill out. Mostly because I had just mastered legibly learning how to write my name. But I persevered, knowing that one day it would all pay off, right? And it did, by and large. You know, it's not to say that over the years we didn't endure some FOD here and there, or that we didn't have our fair share of CWCAs. We did. Thankfully, the LSRP Dad helped me develop. The LSRP Dad helped me develop as a toddler. That every obstacle that I encountered was really like insignificant in the grand scheme. I was well prepared. It really wasn't until I finished graduate school and entered the workforce a few years ago that my dad gave me what I thought would be the most, or his most useful bit of wisdom. I had just moved to New York and I was unpacking my books and I was setting them up on a new bookshelf. And I noticed a small piece of paper stuck deep within the pages of a well-worn book he had passed on to me for my 10th birthday. It was Carl Townsend's 1992 Tour de Force Mastering Excel. I still don't know how to use spreadsheets. I pulled the paper from the book and found that my dad had left a note inside. It read, Ryan, on the other side of this page you'll find a formula. If you follow it closely, as I have at Grumman, it's your ticket to a life of lasting fulfillment and boundless joy. I turned over the piece of paper. So I was a little confused. I picked up the phone. I called him. I said, Dad, what does FCCM mean? And there was a long pause on the other line, on the other end of the phone. He said, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think I really need to retire. On a side note, people here have been talking all night about my dad and what he's been doing for the past 30 years. Ask me. And you have to understand, I have a very close relationship with my parents. I know them very well. They share everything with me. Ask me what it is my dad actually did at Grumman over the past 30 years, and pretty much get the same result.
It's a time.
His work is a complete and total mystery to me. I thought I would come here tonight and be illuminated, and I'm still as much in the dark as I was before I came. And so here we are, exactly 7 days. 7 days until my dad says goodbye to Grumman. And I know that Grumman gave him a lot over the years, but in the weeks leading up to his official retirement, I thought a lot about what Grumman has given me, or I guess more precisely what my dad has been able to give me because of his job. A brief interlude here. I found this picture in an old Newsday article, and it actually represents one of those childhood memories that sort of just gets burned in. As a kid, seeing the blue ball atop the old Grumman plant in Bethpage was kind of like seeing the Statue of Liberty or the Magic Kingdom.
Really?
It was.
Really?
It was something kind of larger than life.
I'm sorry.
I'll say that my subsequent trips down Hicksville Road as an adult have pretty much obliterated the mythical qualities that monument once possessed. That's besides the point. For those of you who haven't been by there in a while, that blue ball is actually now a red ball. It's turned into Grumman Studios. It has. Aside from the aforementioned practical bits of wisdom, my dad's job gave me health insurance until I was 22. That was nice. It ensured my early childhood was filled with fun things like He-Man toys, Little League games, Nintendos. It ensured my early adulthood was filled with important things like higher education and financial security. A couple of nice cars. I've had this running joke with my dad over the years. I'd come home for a vacation or a weekend, and we'd be out at a restaurant. The waiter would bring the check, and I'd always, sort of fake reach for the check or fake reach for my wallet, like I'm gonna pick up the tab. My mom and dad never expect me to do that, and it's funny because I've had a job for a while, so I could probably afford to pick up the tab for my parents every once in a while, but that was never an expectation. Sometimes when I'm home, I'll take out my dad's car and I'll top it off at like $10, top off the tank, and I'll come home and I'll say, "Hey Dad, I filled up your tank. We're even now, right?" I know we'll never be even. Another side note, it's probably worth mentioning 7 minutes into this speech, that while my dad is great, I also have a mom. Who is equally as formative as my dad was, and I kind of owe her a lot too. Hi, Mom. Thank you. In closing, I'm pretty excited for my dad. He worked long and hard for many years, and it's time that he gets something in return for those efforts. He's been telling me recently about all the things that he has on his agenda come January 28th. From spending more time with my mom, growing our family's business, to getting up on Friday mornings and playing golf. He's even talked about taking typing lessons. He thinks that if he's persistent, he can get up to 8 words a minute. In all seriousness, though, I admire my dad for all of his work. Every bit of joy he experiences in the years that follow his career at Grumman will have been hard-earned. Congratulations.
Wonderful, right?